So there was two things that we were going to talk about: moms, older moms that are getting up there, and
Like
then we were
mine.
going to talk about. I'm surprised how off you are on what's going on with men.
What do you mean how off I
Not
am?
off like how you didn't know a lot of how just just a little bit ago when you were like, what did you say? Oh, I don't understand why. I don't understand why a man won't hold on to a good one.
That I'm talking about myself.
Okay. So you're saying you don't understand why the men.
I think I'm a good catch. Like I'm
Okay.
a really good catch.
Okay.
But I mean, there's been plenty that have been like, nah. I've been stood up more than I've gone out on a date.
Well, yeah, but that's different. That's not saying. I thought you were implying,
Oh, like that they get all these great women all the time and they let go of them. No, I
right,
wasn't applying.
that there's so many good women out there, and men are just discarding good women all the time.
Well, no, but that does happen though. I mean, it really does. Like guys have some. There's some good girls out there that really need some help. When men like to help, and I don't think you should necessarily just get rid of somebody just because some weird thing irritates you. You should factor it in. Like make more of a well-rounded decision before you cut somebody out of your life. That's what I was talking about in my like I don't know why people do that. I don't know. I just cuz people are very quick to slice people out of their lives now.
Yeah, because, well, for women, it's very easy to get another man.
When? Where is he?
No, it's very easy.
Okay.
Okay, so for example, I know a guy who's not attractive, and he's an attractive guy, and in 2 years he hasn't gotten a single match on
Does he have a little
app
teeny weenie?
swipers. How would they know on an app swiper? You can't put a picture of your
That's
swiper.
true. Maybe that's just me. That was really inappropriate. I'm sorry. Sometimes you can tell.
You can tell from a profile picture on a dating on a Tinder or a Hinge or a Bumble. You can tell the size of the pecker.
Well, not that it all boils down to that, but since we're speaking
Are you
freely,
sure it doesn't all
but
boil down to that?
since we're speaking freely, I will say that you can tell. Actually, I think you can tell that with a certain man. I will bet you money. I will bet you money right here. I don't mean to be inappropriate of your own personal life, but I bet you that you have a nice one. I really do. I bet you. Am I right?
What do you want me to say? I can't comment on that because that would be braggadocious. If I go
I
one
just
way,
have,
that's
I
braggadocious. If
just
I go
have
the other way, then
the solidness
they
about
call
them.
it beat. The
So,
kids call it BD
yeah,
eat. So,
that's
two
funny.
things we're going to talk about is moms, elderly moms,
Oh God,
and what was the other thing was
you're such a masochist.
no,
Massage
no, that we're going to talk about that I've been accused. I haven't seen this, but apparently because I don't read all of my,
comments.
but I
Yes,
have read a lot of my comments on
you have a
TikTok,
lot of great
and I
comments.
haven't
People
seen.
love you.
I mean, I think it's very rare that
It's
somebody calls me a
it's
misogynist.
something to do when you
Am I right though?
mention
Because
women.
I've missed. I mean, I've seen it a few times, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's a minority
Yes,
comment.
100%. Mine.
I'm not because there's an idiot in every room everywhere. So
That's
there's
true.
definitely an idiot that's commenting on my videos.
That's true.
And I've engaged with some of them, not on I mean probably on the misogyny. So, and I'm wearing shorts on a podcast. This is,
And you have a
it's
shirt
late and we it's been a long day. That's what y'all are getting. You're getting shorts.
and a shirt that says "I will
I will meditate
meditate."
and destroy you. So I don't like to be called a misogynist. I know I'm not a misogynist. I know some of the things that I'm talking about are difficult to
Swallow.
explain. Difficult to explain and maybe difficult to swallow. So which one do you want to do first?
Hey,
Elderly moms?
hey, y'all.
Does anybody have any
Yes,
which one do they want to
yes, so
hear?
y'all who are live right now, do you want us to talk about his mom has passed away since I've known him, and my
Mm.
mom is very much alive, but I'm dealing with some issues with my mom that he's been so helpful with me. So
Yeah,
like
because
aging parents.
I went through it for like 5 6 years.
Yeah, so
Where she moved to the city that I lived in to for me to help her, get because she needed help as she aged. And that's what you're stepping, and you're in the same situation
I'm
where
in
she's
it.
just moved.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not for me, of course. He's awesome. He's a great guy. So we're going to talk about that, and we also are going to talk about men and women and this whole separation of male and women, masculine and feminine, and removing of women and the erasure of women, and misogyny, and the
And
patriarchy,
and the
and
array.
toxic men. Talk
But
about
wait,
dying mama.
there's like no toxic
Shut
women,
your
right?
face.
There's no toxic women, or are there?
I don't know. Just like can't handle it. Oh my god.
What?
Oh my God. So, like, what do you guys want us to talk
Like
about?
misogyny, or or like
Or, like, mom.
moms?
High five.
So yeah, so another friend of mine that I was talking to today is also has an aging mom that moved back to
It's a
to be
thing.
near her aging mother, and she's going through the same things that I went through. You're going through the same things that I went through. And I think people are a rarity these days. So there's not, you know, there's a lot of people out there that are just like, not my problem, mom. I don't know, figure it out. Like,
That would be me.
put her in a home.
See ya. You
Like,
stink now.
yeah,
I'm done.
like
That's where I'm out.
you smell like old shoes, mother. I will not deal with this. So please. But then there's also empathic people that, want to help their mothers out.
I would help mine get an assistant.
So, so let's talk about a few things. Do you, so do you want to, well, okay, so I'll just start speaking then because you're the one that's still dealing with it
Well,
currently.
I'm going to tell
So
you what
you
you
would
helped
have,
me with the most. Okay. So, my
okay.
mom drives me absolutely nutballer, wanting all of my time. And
Right.
I'm now understanding and living and practicing scheduling and honoring my schedule and body, mind, and spirit maintenance. And I can make time, but not all day, you know? And so you gave me great advice. Thank you that I have been implementing and it works. Instead of getting so irritated, which actually irritates me, especially you want to irritate me, waste my time and steal my money. Those are two that I just it just
That would irritate anyone.
real irritates me. And so you said instead of me getting frustrated every time and just being like, ugh, to invite her to say, hey, mom, find something that's fun. Make it fun that you are doing yourself without me present that you can look forward to and give her something that she's doing that's fun that she could look forward to. And
What,
I don't know what that is. I've just been like having that conversation instead of like, oh God, like you're driving me nuts,
well,
and giving her like,
what I said is that you need to engineer scenarios where she has something to look forward to. That's what I said.
well, that's good.
And
Well,
you're
I told
calling it
her
fun, but yeah,
what she
fun.
looks
Most
forward
people,
to.
yeah,
Yeah.
people want to do fun things, but it has to be because, you know, we live in a toxic food supply, toxic air, toxic water. So let's not be surprised when older people are not at peak physical condition. They're not. They're after 50 years of consuming commercially available products, they're not at the
This
top of
is
their
true. My
game.
mom would be ill, I think.
Right, like there's a spectrum of ill. Like you can be, the absence of being healthy is being ill. So just because you move fine, if you have high inflammation, you're more than likely to be depressed. And if you don't have anything going on that revs your engine, you're going to be
You
depressed.
got your engines revved. Hey, Jay. What's
So
up?
they have to have something to look forward to. And I learned this the hard way because, I was doing what a friend of mine, Heather, is doing with her mother or was doing, which was like, you're falling apart. You got to work out every day. You got to eat right. You got to clean this house up. Come on. And then like helping her clean the house up, going over to cook the meals a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as,
You leave.
she leaves, opens up the Doritos
Yep.
and fires up a cigarette.
And eats 5 donuts.
Right.
Yeah.
And because they have no reason to want to look good, to want to have a clean house, to do healthy things, because they need something to look forward to. So I think a lot of people, are like, look at the punch list of what they have to do and miss the biggest thing, and that's that you have to engineer something that they enjoy doing on a regular basis. It goes down to connections and community. It's why, I think, there's a lot of unhappiness in our society because connection and community is not on a 5 or 6 inch screen.
It's on this size on TikTok.
It's
Hey, y'all.
and a lot of these elderly people are now totally immersed in social media, and it gives them a lot of stuff to do with their thumbs, so they're very anxious because they're deficient in basic minerals and because they're in a state of illness, so their body is setting off alarms, and then they're moving their fingers and they're consuming junk. There's junk food and there's also junk information.
Oh, yeah.
So they're consuming a lot of junk information. I mean, my mother was just, totally tuned into Fox News and just like, I don't know what's happening to this country
I'm
and
so scared.
sing out about it.
My mom is
Bright.
bright.
It's stress corn.
You get the corn on the cob corn, and then you get the
Yeah.
stress
I mean, there's a
corn.
lot of corn. You can have stress corn.
Monsanto corn.
You can have Monsanto corn. You can have organic corn, or you can have
Multicolored corn.
multicolored corn. But
I like
but
trans corn.
there's also, like a horror movie is a type of corn.
What? Oh, yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because it what corn does is it makes your body and your brain is a drug producer. And so whether, you're looking at images of humans, whether you're looking at something really scary, or whether you're watching the news, this is all to stimulate an endocrine system response that causes excitement or stress. Anxiety is the same chemical makeup as excitement.
Say that again. Anxiety is the same chemical makeup
It's the
as
same
excitement.
chemical makeup as excitement.
So why not just get excited, everybody?
Well, but that's the thing.
Woohoo!
So if no one wants to be anxious. That's when you have these hormones and this endocrine system response,
Right.
but there's nothing that you want to do. So then
Because you're depressed as hell and you just ate 5 donuts and all you're doing is gossiping about everybody in the little house. I'm
right,
talking about my mother.
right.
Like
So
in
you
the building.
right,
So and so did this and so did that. And I ate 15 donuts.
right.
And you didn't text me back for 3 hours.
Yeah, right. Exactly, exactly. It's your fault that I'm not happy.
Yes.
Right. So, and the other thing, so I don't want to beat that to death, but do I need to expound more on it?
I think it's really important. Actually, I just want to, because it worked for my mom, and I
Hmm.
brought up like, hey, what can you get excited about? Let's come up with something. Do you want to paint again? Do you want to? She goes, well, I think I'm going to start doing stand-up comedy.
That's
And I'm
wonderful.
like, awesome. And then it's turned into tea. So she's going to make a little tea area that we can then do a live or something at her place. So
Right.
that, high five. That was
Yeah, so then
amazing,
that keeps her
amazing.
house in order because then, you can't, if you have to have it ready to film in, the
Right.
house has to be kept in order.
Exactly.
And then if you want to be on camera, the body has to be kept in order, the hair has to be kept in order. Maybe a little makeup, maybe, you know, a little bit of healthy eating so that you look good on camera, you know.
Oh, Bruce.
Yeah, so that's that,
Yeah.
you know, yeah. So,
And we do have some comment. Hold on. I
yeah.
need to see you. Hey, Jay. And somebody said, who is this? Because you came on later. This is my dear friend Sean, who I call Jesus, because I mean, look at him. He doesn't answer to that. I just like saying it. He and I share very similar focuses in the world and missions and have a same similar, like, want to help people get healthy and stay healthy. And
Yeah.
I'm trauma expert. He's health expert, really. I mean, I just put those words in your mouth, but you are
And I'm the one in Nashville on the talk tick.
the talk ticker. And Music City e-bikes, which is where I come all the time in Nashville.
That's
And
the website.
sending love and hugs. And aging can be very scary.
Yeah, one thing I have to say about that is that we're designed to be workhorses until like something blows out and we die. This propaganda that we're fed, that, at 40 or at 50 or at 60 or at 70,
Ed, you're
you're
done.
close to death. This is not true. This is only if you're poisoned.
So true.
There's, you know,
And we're
30,
poisoned.
there's
Like we're
30-year-olds that are a mess. There's now, early teens that have diabetes, type 2 diabetes. So it's, you know, and there's people that are still plowing and planting fields at 95. So it's not aging that's scary. It's not taking care of yourself that's scary.
which so leads into the people that follow me mainly as survivors. Like so many survivors don't take care of themselves because nobody showed them how. Because when we were raised by wolves, we are raised by people who aren't taking care of themselves.
Yeah.
And then they're not taking care of us. And then we're like, well, what do you do now? Oh no, I was raised
Yeah.
by wolves.
Yeah, I was feral myself.
You know what?
Yeah.
Y'all, that's another F word because I love life with all the F words because I tend
There
to
you
throw.
go.
And somebody told me once, they're like, my friend Lavelle, who we will eventually do a show together. I love her so much. She goes, you know what you did for me? You put the F back in my life. Because she's
Okay.
like, life without the F is a lie. Take the F out of life and it's a lie.
Right.
And I was like, and so feral, feral, that's funny.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Feral, funny. Yeah, fun. Freedom from all of the patterns. And I have experienced great freedom with my mother by going live with her on TikTok and making it fun.
Where are you?
Whether you're trying to read, we're working on our eyesight. I tried
What's
to
it
read that
about the?
book, but
I
I
thought
couldn't
I
read it.
saw the one.
Yeah, it said, where you been, the one? Where you been all my life?
Oh, where you
In
been? Oh,
Nashville.
I'm in Nashville.
He's in Nashville. Yes, this is the creator of Loot. Very good. You kind of paying
Yes.
attention. Loot
Loot
Life.
dot life.
I am here helping him and awaiting impatiently the Regenerate. Regenerate is
Yep.
the next product that he has that helps people get off of alcohol and binge ad.
Yep.
Ooh, I am going. I'm like first on the step for mine because I think seeing how you've helped alcohol addicts, zo addicts,
Hmm.
I am convinced that it will do the same thing for trauma survivors. So I'm going
Yeah.
to do it. Anyway,
It
sorry.
definitely helps with a state of unease or a state of anxiety. It's potent for those things.
But that comes back to the conversation with my mom because what about this aging parents because the
Hmm.
aging parent gives me anxiety. My mom freaking out and wanting my time all the time and then getting upset that well, it's been 3 hours and you didn't text me back. I mean, that kind of stuff, it's like having a wacky crazy girlfriend or something. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it's that will stress me out and give me anxiety. So how do I, I've been practicing working with you with all my body health and
Hmm.
also all the stuff I do with mindset and being present, and I'm very fun, but also like that stresses me out. My
Hmm.
kid does the same thing. My kid and my mom are similar, but my kid will always win. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take. Sorry about
Right.
you. My kid's gonna come first,
Right.
but there's something about the pressure from my attention that really grates on me.
Hmm.
That's also why I can't have like very beta men in my life. They're like, I need you, I need you, I need to. I'm
Hmm.
like I get real irritated and anxious. So that's also like I'm working on that, but I also am like, okay, instead of just getting irritated at my mom, let me present her with your idea of like, well, let's do something fun that you're have something to look forward to.
Hmm.
And so it really has worked. And you also told me to have her do oil
Oh,
oil and she's doing it.
oil pulling because you
Oil
got a lot of
pulling.
miles on your teeth, and when you're depressed, a lot of people when they're depressed don't take care of their dental hygiene, and so there's a lot of bacteria and some decay, and oil pulling
Jealous.
can get the mouth back in order. My mother, when she moved down to Nashville, she was saying she needed to go to a dentist immediately, and that her teeth felt loose and she hadn't been taking care of her dental. And I said, before we go to the dentist, just give me a month of oil pulling. So
So just
two
do it, mom.
times a
Do it.
day, 2 times a day, 20 minutes, I said to her at the minimum. I got her a special easy. I mean, you can use any oil. Coconut oil is probably the most affordable. There's oil blends that are made for
Pulling?
oil pulling
Like what?
that have
Blend avocado and
not
coconut or
well
something?
there's it's they put some stuff in it to make it taste,
Oh, because
not
it's gonna
bland.
sit. So how does one oil pull one?
So you just put it in your mouth and then swish it around, get it in between the teeth. You do not swallow it. You do not put it in the sink, especially coconut oil, because it will harden.
Don't put it in the sink.
Don't put
I
it
gotta
in the
call my
sink.
mom.
Yeah, don't put it in the sink.
Don't
Especially if
spit
it's
it.
coconut oil, because at 77 degrees, it will firm up and block the pipes.
Duh.
So you have to spit it out into the toilet. But 20 minutes, swish it around, try to direct it through the teeth, get it in all the nooks and crannies of the cheek, and then the back,
Made me cough thinking about it.
and get it all around the, don't swallow it. 20 minutes, spit it out into the toilet.
20 minutes or the trash.
Well, at the first time you do it, most people can't do 20 minutes the first time they do it. It's something to work up to. But, the longer that you can do it, I mean, I've read 20 minutes is like the max dose, let's say. But you're really trying to direct it in between the teeth and get in all the nooks and crannies of the mouth, in the gums, everywhere, and
Did you use ghee?
probably because it just has to be a fat,
Butter?
probably.
Wow.
Yeah, because the fat will pull the toxins out of the mouth.
Huh.
That's why you don't swallow it after you swish it.
Because you just sucked all your.
Right.
Yeah, so
That's correct.
don't
Yes.
swallow it.
Yeah,
Don't
so
swallow.
my mom became a believer in that very quickly because it rapidly fixed her symptoms that she was worried about.
Because I told my mom that you said it, and because you said it, my mom's like, oh, I'm going to do what Sean's doing. It's great, great. So
And has
she's
it
doing
helped
that. It definitely hasn't helped the breath. I'm telling you. Lord have mercy, kill us now. Poor mom. She'll get in the car. She's like, how's my breath today? I forgot to ask. I'm like, oh no, I died already 3 times.
Yeah, that comes from gut microbiome
Because
quite
she
a bit.
eats 5 donuts.
Right. Yeah, so yeah, she needs some ketogenic diet, real keto, not fake keto. Don't believe things that are labeled keto. If it tastes sweet, it's sweet. That's not keto. Artificial sugars trigger an insulin response.
And sugar is in everything. I just showed you the vitamins that I got today.
Yeah, first
That's
ingredient in your vitamins,
sugar.
high fructose corn syrup,
Yeah, that's crazy.
which the average American's 40 pounds heavier since they invented that and approved that.
High fructose corn syrup. Yeah, that was on my list, my science
Made
paper.
from GMO corn.
Right? You're
Yeah.
just like, oh God, it's the layers of
Right.
poison is crazy. Sucrose. I need work, please. Somebody says
That's-
that's really funny.
Oh my
I
God,
feel
I
you.
know.
I feel you.
Living in a new world,
Living in a new world. Oh,
'cause the dollar ain't shit.
that was so great. We watched that happen. I saw that happen at your house.
What's that?
You showed me that video, and it had like he's like, look at
Uh,
this song, and then it went to like #1. And
Yeah,
what,
yeah, like
2 days?
it was like 2 days after I turned it on or saw it. It was #1 everywhere. It was
That was crazy.
It
I
goes
think it
to show
shows
you-
just people are fed up.
no doubt people are fed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I mean 60% of people are check to check. Yeah, I mean
What check? I just got $41 from TikTok yesterday.
that's big. That's
Hey.
huge. That's huge. So what else about
It's true.
what else about the
About
moms?
yeah. What else about moms? Do you have any other questions about?
So-
Full of seed oils. Yes, seed oils. Yeah. Will you tell which
Mm-hmm.
which oils not to use? Because there's like definitely not canola oil.
Yeah, so
hope we all know that.
So don't use seed oils for your oil pulling in your mouth. Definitely not. Well, I mean, coconut, coconut's fine. Olive oil would work, but you don't want to get plastic bottle olive oil because a lot of the cheaper oils, the way that they process them, they're actually rancid. And then a lot of like the labeled oils, if you're looking for avocado oil or, something, grapeseed oil, they lie. It's unbelievable, but it'll be, 5% avocado oil and the rest will be canola.
If you actually
Or
turn it
or
over
sunflower
and read it,
oil.
Jesus.
Yeah, I get mine from Durant, which is a olive oil grower or olive grower in Oregon. So,
So then you know that they're olives.
right, you know where it comes from, and it's single source of olives. It's not just whatever the cheapest olives are on the market today.
Good
For a
point.
plastic bottle, new brand that shows up on Kroger and it'll be gone by the end of the year, or Kroger brand, whatever. Not
Fair.
that Kroger is,
Durant.
eh,
Durant.
yeah, like Kevin Durant, but not Kevin.
Castro oil?
Castor oil, I would Google if you can use that in your
I
mouth.
wouldn't use Google.
Yeah, well, for that you can use Google. But castor oil is great topical. One place to put castor oil is in your navel, because your navel is one of the main lymphatic drainage points in the body. And putting castor oil there when it absorbs through your skin can really be helpful for total body health.
Castor oil.
Castor oil,
Is castor oil the one that we had when we were little kids and it stinks really bad?
yes, it doesn't smell good. It's from castor beans, I believe.
Castor, okay.
Yeah. As far as oils go that are, yeah, it's,
Oh, we have a bit. My alcohol. Here's a comment. Hey, I'm sorry to hear that my alcoholic dad is going to jail on the first three DUIs, and enabling Mimi's going to learn how, or oh, enabling me is going to learn how she's been 43 years in codependency with an alcoholic. That's fun
yeah,
times.
yeah,
Fun times, moms.
codependency is
A topic that we
many
have.
times the glue that holds people together. So it's not, in this case, it's bad. You don't want to be codependent with an alcoholic, but codependency is the glue that holds people together.
It is kind of interesting the whole concept of codependent when they to not be codependent, but then when you are in a real leaning relationship, like I'm gonna lean on you and you're gonna lean on me, that is actually codependent, right?
That's also how people bond. So,
It's funny. It's like that, but we say don't be that way, but it's like do be
well,
that way. But I'm like
right. But if your industry is the care of people that are mentally ill, do you want to cure all of the mental illness, or do you want them to keep coming back to pay you?
fair.
So much of modern psychotherapy is ineffective
Oh my God,
and and purposely ineffective, because they want you to keep coming back for 20, 30 years.
and be poisoned.
They don't want to solve your problem in 6 visits. And they got to find a new client.
Right. I
Yeah.
have friends that actually have their analyst for like 20 something years.
Yeah. You're paying to have a fake friend.
That's like $125 or more a week for 20 something years.
Right.
Holy cow.
Right.
What would
And if
you
it takes
buy?
that long to get you straight, you need to fire your
You're gay as hell.
therapist. No, you need to fire your therapist, because that's too long. That's too long.
Funny. Two people whose cups are overflowing one up each other.
Sure. I mean, yeah.
Are
Yeah.
we, you two, I'm not going to read that word. I don't want to get canceled. You read
Oh.
that? You two banging,
Oh.
banging,
That
bumping
you can't
uglies.
say that. You can't level
Well, I
away.
don't know what words are cancelable anymore. I think the cancelable words are like, it's a long list of cancelable words.
That's funny.
If we were, we wouldn't be on camera talking to you. Let me tell you. We wouldn't be on camera. I get a laugh for that. So that's funny. Well, that actually brings one. I want to circle back to my mom because that you asking me a personal question here. Although I'm a total open book, you could ask me anything. But it brings me to that conversation. Like, why is that always a conversation? Why is like, oh my God, the big sex in the room, the big like, the bond. Everybody wants somebody, somebody. People are always hunting for somebody. And my mom, growing up, she was always hunting for somebody. It was like searching for Mr. Goodbar, finding
Yeah.
men in all the wrong places. And I kicked guys out of bars. Like
Mm.
little me, Angela was a kind of a badass. I was a total badass. I would literally walk guys out of bars
Yeah.
and walk them to their car. And my mom just was like wanting men. I mean, there's the movie Tumbleweeds is about my mother. I mean, there's a lot of truth in that movie, even though some has been fictionalized. But
I think a lot of people are trauma bonding and are looking for a feeling, a specific feeling that they're accustomed to from their past, which in this country, you know, 1 out of 3 people at the minimum have suffered severe trauma.
Oh yeah.
So, if you're trying to recreate a feeling that you've had, and people want to go with the familiar feelings, the feelings that they've already had, because the unknown is scary. So if they're not accustomed to, being supported and loved, that will feel awkward to them. If they're accustomed to be arguing, you know, or in a demoralized state, then they're going to make that happen in their relationship.
Yep. And that is trauma bonding. Explain trauma bonding.
I mean, I'm not an
That seems
expert
a
on trauma.
buzzword right now. I'm like, trauma
Is it
bonding.
really?
What kind of
I'm not,
bonding? What's the trauma?
essentially it's like I need to have a specific cocktail of drugs made by my brain, and how I get that specific cocktail of drugs might be, you know, doing things that irk my mate,
Oh,
because
right, because then I'll
I need to have
a fight happen.
a fight happen, or not even a fight, but or insecurities. So, one, the either the woman or the man might want to keep the other person on their heels all the time, so that they feel like they have the power.
Consciously, unconsciously,
Both.
intentionally,
I think
unintentionally.
both.
Yeah, right. Like it's like,
Right.
yeah.
I think
'Cause
both. I think that, the people that are doing it consciously, which there's
our,
a lot
our
of
crazy
there's a lot
narcissists.
of TikTok videos of women educating women how to keep men on their heels.
That's not cool.
And it is, I'm always surprised when I hear that, men talk about how they did it for 30 years, 40 years, but,
Did what?
stayed with, a female narcissist, or, a female with like BPD.
It's BPD.
That's
It's not BBC, Angela.
no
It's
BPD. It's, let me Google it
big,
real
pretty
quick.
something. I can't see your comment.
BPD. BPD.
Consuming in excess and
Bo- uh,
producing in excess. Okay.
Borderline
Oh
disorder.
god,
A
that's
mental
that's
disorder characterized by unstable moods, behavior, and relationships. The cause of borderline personality disorder is not well understood. Diagnosis is made based on symptoms, which the symptoms are emotional instability, feelings of worthlessness, insecurity, impulsivity, and impaired social relationships.
they can't handle themselves.
Right. So, a narcissist or someone with BPD, they're going to cultivate a relationship of brain chemicals, brain drugs that are all over the negative or the lower level of human emotions, because they grew up in the lower level of human emotions.
It's
So they're
familiar.
when things are going, this would be the men or the women that when things are going well, when you're like, wow, we've really had a couple of great months. Maybe we should have a vacation, and
And then the
maybe,
vacation sucks,
well, and then like,
and you're
the
jerk
woman or
side.
the man will, you know, detonate something to throw a stick in the spokes, or to,
To not have it be easy.
right, to destabilize, because they aren't accustomed to having, feelings of joy, feelings of love, feelings, to these
Yeah,
positive feelings, and they freak out.
I've experienced
So
that.
then they'll change their feelings through acting out.
God, I have experienced witnessing that, and you're like, wow. And you see it. It's almost like textbook. You're like, oh wow, so you're doing that.
Yeah.
And I recognize it from my old self, like when I was in my teens, my 20s.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what I did? Full disclosure, speaking on the men thing, and I apologize. This is also why I work with men a lot, and do this. Are you gonna go? Oh, what did you do? Oh, he's not paying no attention to me.
I'm
He's looking
listening
at
to
his
you.
phone. It's all right.
You're talking about what you're doing.
No, I just lost my thought. I literally was
I
like,
just wanted
bing.
to destabilize you.
You were destabilized. Oh, it was I read my dear friend who I really love, who I recommend all her books. She's passed away now, Charlotte Castle. So she wrote Women, Sex and Addiction, the Search for Love and Power. So it's such a good book. I the only reason I didn't read it for years is because of the title. And I was like, it should be called, everybody should read this. That's what that'd be called. That book should be called, everybody should read this. It's great. She also wrote If the Buddha Married, If the Buddha Dated, If the Buddha got stuck. Like she wrote all of the If the Buddha books. She's a fabulous woman. I was good friends with her.
That's
And
There's an interesting book similar to that book. Maybe it's called Already Free by Bruce Tift, which compares and contrasts modern Western medicine psychotherapy, so the head doctors we were just talking
oh,
about, with Buddhism.
nice.
And Buddha, so you're
Like
talking about Buddha right
yeah.
there. Buddhism is pretty much a manual for humans, like how to feel good as a human. Not that Buddhism doesn't have a few negatives. I'm not saying it's the best operating system, but if you're struggling, it's a great operating system.
Didn't Jesus go there for a little bit?
The history that I've read, that
Very
I
pretty much.
believe in, is, there's a missing 10 years
So
from
where did he
the
go?
Bible.
I'm
There's a
kidding.
missing 10 years, and the story that I've read that makes sense to me is that he was hanging out with the Essenes, which are essentially monks. So
That's where I'd be.
he learned a lot of monk things, and monks can do some pretty outrageous things. I mean, there's monks that can boil themselves in a pot of water, in a cauldron of water, and survive and not be burned.
Because they're in such a high meditative state.
Well, they're able to release the energy, the heat energy, through
Oh, wow.
the top of their head. They have a lot of tricks. So, Jesus had a lot of skills, and he has a missing 10 years, and in those missing 10 years it makes sense to me, and I've read about it on a few sources, that he was trained by the Essenes, so monks,
That's pretty cool.
which would make sense.
Well, and so my friend Charlotte wrote If the Buddha Dated and If the Buddha Married. Oh, yay. It feels so good to be hanging out with you both now. Oh, yay. Love you. And I I was told to read her book. And anyway, not because I was a as Sigmicals addict, but because of the love addiction, like always being in love with a dude. And there was one paragraph in that whole book that punched me in the face. And I'm coming around to like seeing your own behavior and ending it. And this is also why I like committed to helping men to kind of make up for, I'm doing my penance for my own behavior. And there was a little paragraph in there that explained how when you are manipulating a man and you're putting yourself in a little girl role as the little helpless manipulative girl, but it's very much like it's not a helpless like you can't do anything, like you're just asking for their help. It's a very much a it's a dance of the eyes, it's a dance of the body. It's a total cat-like almost manipulation and a spell that you can put on men, and it makes them fall in love with you. And I did that to like, and I was like, oh my God, I do that. Oh my God, I do that. And it's just like men can become obsessed with you. And I'm like, oh my, I did it to directors, and I realized like every one of those directors booked me on like 25 commercials. You know what I mean? Like, and that's because they like were like in love with me. And I puppeted it, and I didn't even realize I was doing that. I didn't even realize I was doing that until I read this book from Charlotte Castle, and she and I became really good friends. And the moment I read it, like I literally I sat there and I was like, if a book can punch you in the face, that book punched me in the face, kind of like I do with my aha moments for people. Like it punched me in the face, and I decided I'm never gonna do that again. I just never, and it's hard for me. If I had to do it now, I would have to really like act, but so I stopped doing it. I think I was 27. That's just Saturn return. That's a whole conversation, but I decided to never do that again. And I literally never worked again. I never worked again. I never worked again. And I became a director.
Yeah.
Is that crazy? I was like,
Well,
I didn't see it. And
well,
it was Charlotte Castle, and it was an acting teacher, Larry Moss, around the same time said to me, when are you going to stop this little girl act and be the strong woman you are? And I was like, what'd you say? And that is actually when I started doing it, when I directed my documentary.
Yeah.
Crazy. And my voice was, even when you watch my documentary, you'll see my old videos, which is funny. I'm going through them on YouTube now because I'm kind of like cleaning up my all my stuff. My voice was up here. Oh my God, really? This voice is so up here. So up here. Because I wasn't, I mean, I'm just
Right.
now getting into my,
Yeah. Yeah, and
not my,
I
like,
pick that
good.
up when I'm dating, if I sense that fake voice, it's a red flag.
What are you talking about?
Oh, that voice is a red flag too. Guadal fry. That's a big red flag.
I don't know like what you're talking about
J-
because like I like just want to just hang out and like touch your hair.
I'm just gonna talk and make everything sound like a question so that you can't be offended in any way because everything sounds like a question and I'm not serious about anything. That's another one.
Yeah, it's not it's fear also of offending. So I like don't want to upset anybody in the room.
I just want to
So like,
let you know that we're on the same tribe and I believe in everything I'm supposed to believe in, just like you do, I'm sure.
oh my God.
I mean,
It
they're
just
like the most predictable people ever who talk like that. It's
wait, what? Okay, hold on. I need to move you closer because I hi Wonder Woman. Spells are not spells are not sent, they are received. You're not responsible. Oh, you mean when I said like I felt like I put a spell on him? Is that why? I was
you're not responsible for the spells.
well, I'm like
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why you would say that, but then, you know,
don't put it out there.
you know, well, I mean,
I'm like, yeah, so
it seems to me that if everybody's playing games with everybody or putting spells on everybody,
it's like
we're gonna have not a cohesive society.
the church will find out the women can shapeshift. Oh God. And when I found voice, yeah, oh, that's funny. I started to find my honestly, you know what? John, I started to find my deeper voice. My voice has changed. You can watch it from my old videos, and I find it a little embarrassing to look back on it. But I'm like my voice, but I'm not gonna beat myself up because I already did that chapter of life. So like
Mm.
I'm like I was saying today at my conference meeting. Oh my God, I'm so excited about it. I'm gonna be speaking at the Happy Vagina Happy Life conference. I'm really happy. I'm really excited. We were talking about this very thing. Like when you find your voice was very much related to when I found actual love for my parts.
Hmm.
It was full circle, like full circle healing. Your voice also came out of that.
Hmm. Yeah, I
It
mean,
was like,
I think when you are authentic, you speak with your full voice. I know it's something that I look for in people. If I can tell that they're purposely restraining, they're not only are they restraining their voice, they're also restraining their voice, their what they will say.
oh yeah,
And if somebody is not telling you what they want to say, you know, you don't know them. So you're spending a lot of time with someone that doesn't know themselves, so you don't know them either.
God, yeah, that's true. Jeez, why are you talking about me in all my past relationships?
Yeah,
No,
well, yeah.
that's not true. Not all of them, just a few. What? Why are you judging? Understanding and believing are two different things. Hello, Angela. I'm going to sit back and listen. Oh, good. Yay. But hold on. Everyone has their own selfish motives, mostly material and power driven. I think everyone's talking to themselves. But you know what? I don't even want to say most people because that's not fair, but I just noticed a lot of people are not on the self discovery path.
Right. What's everyone doing?
Why are you talking about me?
What's everyone
Guys.
doing? Like, what's like hot right now? What's everyone wearing?
Why do I love it when you do that? I'm like, anyway, like, oh my God, you like eat like a lot of meat, huh?
Hmm. But like everyone's going vegan, so like I don't know like if I can like hang with him because like
Oh,
all he eats is meat and
I
like
just,
meat is like, with climate and like warmings and stuff like that. It's like I don't know if I can like even deal.
can I please just put it out there and just like I said it here first. So just like, please, dear baby Jesus and all the saints in heavens and all the fat baby cherubs, can you please, at some point in this life, can I witness you being either attacked by or having a conversation with the vegan lady on YouTube. I just said it out loud. I just put it out there.
I went ham on a vegan lady on a campfire chat at a
Amen. Amen. I just want that to happen. I said it here. Let's hold. There was more than one witness. We've said it. It's now in the world. Hallelujah. Amen. It's going to happen.
I'm not gonna recount the whole conversation, but I went at a vegan lady at a campfire chat one time because she was just a mess and she was monopolizing the conversation and she was really virtuous and aloof about like in
As you're grilling a steak
no,
or what?
we were just around a fire in somebody's backyard, and then I just started listing off problems that vegans have as they age, and I
Oh
could just
no.
see her like going clink clink clink, like I have this one, this one, this one, this one, and you know what I mean, and then it was like,
Uh-oh.
yeah, she did not like it.
You did not like.
I tell
Well,
you what, though, she didn't have much to say to anybody. She was done after
afterwards.
that. Yeah, her ego was, she was very ego driven, and then it was just kind of, she was a lot like this, and then she was like this, from this to this,
Oh, and people around the campfire were like, "Thank you, Jesus."
probably.
But something along those lines of the adamant, I have noticed in all my like travels that I've done that when people are really, really adamant, like you're holding on to that sign and you are really, really adamant, you're probably wrong. Isn't that like if you just think about like we've been,
I think if you're,
even myself, the things I've been like, I'm real adamant about it.
well, that's beyond adamant. That's
Like,
angry.
I'm angry.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah, because it's they have pulled this idea into themselves and identified with this idea as being part of them. Because when the idea that's being discussed isn't part of you, then it's like, oh, you want to be vegan, cool. I don't care. That's your decision. But if
right.
you want to
That's
know
cool.
why it's not, like, don't pontificate to the whole campfire about how you're so great because you're vegan and then have
Shane, your buddy.
no have people around it like that's so great that you're vegan. Like I've been wanting to go full vegan. I try, but I just can't like totally like do it. I like, I'll just like eat a burger once
Why
in
do
a
I
while.
love that so much?
Well, and then it's like,
Keep doing it.
and then it's like the, and then so then if I don't say something, then like there's gonna be more vegans that are malnourished, and when people are unhealthy, this causes problems,
In their brains too.
right? So
Go
I
after
just
those
couldn't, I just
hunters.
couldn't keep. I mean, plus it was a group conversation, you know.
Oh my, yeah. What do you do in those
Well,
situations?
right. I had to say, respectfully, I don't agree, and here's why.
Oh my God, I have one of those that you would appreciate. I think you've heard this story, but this is a really funny story that I have.
But I didn't get angry. That's the point. I was speaking
Right,
to
you're
her,
just
no anger, right?
right.
Because it's not a part of my identity. A food decisions are not a part of my identity.
And say that the original like people make it a part of their identity. That's why they get so upset about it.
Right, because then you're attacking them.
Right, because
If
they've
you,
made everything about them.
well, because part of their identity is that they're a virtuous vegan.
Right.
So if you mention anything that makes sense, that makes them, it's like they have to now kill off a part of themselves that, because they identify as a virtuous vegan, and they, tell
You make me like laugh.
yeah. So
Oh my God. Okay, wait. Is Jesus a medicinal herb or is he sober and always so laid back? Oh, are you on a medicinal? He just got back from yoga, and he's a
I'm
meditator, dude.
I'm not on
He's
anything other
he,
than
he'll
I've
he'll
had,
meditate and then destroy you.
so like three steaks today and 6 eggs.
You
Did
should
a
see the
did an
size of my steak compared to his steak. It was really great.
Yeah, but I had three.
He
No,
looks so sporty. I'm in my Wonder Woman outfit today, but
I'm in what I wore to yoga today.
he's a yoga man. But I want to tell you something because I think I've told you the story, but I would love your input. So I had something similar. So you're around the fire. I was on a Zoom, and I love all y'all. If one of you was there that you were in the Zoom, then God bless you. So I was in the Zoom, and it was with a nonviolent communication course coach, Reiki master, and an art therapist. and me. And
Hmm.
we're on there and we're finished with the course. And then she said, okay, we have a little break. We're just chatting and hanging out. She's like, oh, can we please just do a little meditation together? Because the duck hunters are back and they're at the lake across the street. And I would love to just see that they die or they break their legs or something or they break their legs or something. This is what she's it cut to my little box of the Brady Bunch and I'm like, "Burr?" And the Reiki master goes, oh yeah, okay, well maybe let's just see that they just like but picture that they just hurt themselves or like break their legs or something so that they can't hunt. And I'm like, what? Like
So,
what do you say?
so
What do you
the funny
say? Yes.
thing about that is, and this is legit. This is true. Y'all can duck go it or
I'm
brave
like,
search it or
what?
Google it. This will probably still come up. There are more deaths of beings with veganism than with being a carnivore.
Oh,
Because,
because these vegans are just dropping dead.
no, because they have to get rid of the animals that are eating the plants.
Oh, so if you're a vegan, you've killed a lot of rabbits.
A ton of rabbits, a ton of deer, a ton of mice. Yes. And then, not to mention, we have absolute proof that plants are conscious. You know how many spinach plants you have to kill,
To have something
to have enough
sustainable to
sustenance?
right. It's like
It's a lot more death. It's a lot more death. But you're
that's
talking about
funny.
individual
Actual death.
conscious beings. It is a lot more death if you're a vegan. Yeah, it's a lot more death. And so you can't have that virtuous feather.
Oh my God. Well, they okay. So here we are and they're like, let's picture that the hunters die or hurt them or break their legs.
Well, it's right in tune
And
with
I'm
their
like,
beliefs because they're waxing all those
"Eh,
rabbits and deers all the time that aren't even going to sustain anything because they're pests.
right,
They're pests to the farmers, so they're not sending them to meat processing. They're poisoning them.
right. Those little bunnies that we could eat. I don't understand why we don't eat more rabbit, but anyway. So I was in there and I just like, what do you do in the situation? Because you started talking to your vegan lady at the fire.
Yeah.
So I just popped in. I just kind of tilted my head to the side and I was like, what do you say in this situation? I just go, I like duck.
Right. Right.
That was my little face. And they go, oh, well, we like duck too. We just don't like the hunters. And I'm like, pause. And I go, well, I like to eat duck. And then they were like, oh, we do too. We just don't like the hunters. And I'm like, now nothing makes sense in the world right now. And and I go,
Right.
I just want to point out something. At this
Right.
lake here, if anything ever happened to any of y'all, somebody has to go to the hospital. This guy accidentally fell in the nose. Somebody's drowned, and whatever. Anything happens around that lake, the guys that are gonna save your ass are those hunters. And
Well,
and,
not if they
and I'm
not
like,
if
well,
they
too bad they ain't got no legs. And
not if
they're
they're
dead.
not if they're put not if a Reiki master is putting voodoo on and a meditation master is putting voodoo that they slip and fall.
It was one of the
Then they're not going to be
funniest,
around anymore. Just
and
like all the rabbits and deers
it
that the
was
vegans are waxing, and the
truly
conscious plants.
right.
And just
Just
one
funny,
last bow
so
on
funny.
it. Cows and ruminants are ridiculously efficient at creating calories. They're so efficient.
Cows are.
Yes, and
Oh, we just ate
ruminants.
all. What's a ruminant?
Cows, bison,
Oh, okay,
elk,
got you.
things that feed on grasses and get real huge from feeding on grasses.
Speaking of huge, you know what I like to eat? Bison balls.
Yeah, it's
I
odd
mean,
to admit.
you turned me on to bison balls, and I'm gonna tell you
It's
that's my favorite meat right there.
cow balls too. Now look, I can't stomach the thought of looking at a cow ball and eating it.
How many
So
balls are in a patty?
I don't know, but I'll get cow ground beef with cow testicles in it, and I'm here to tell you, it's like the
It's
best
still
burger. It is like the
it's
best
facts.
burger,
These are
and it
facts.
and the consistency of it, the taste of it, the like it is the best burger that you will have.
Here's a question for
Will
you:
be that type of burger.
how many testicles are in one patty?
Probably like a fraction of one.
No, really?
Yes. Oh
This is a
yes.
big ball.
I have you seen a cow? Or not a cow, a bull?
I've never looked at a bull's balls. No.
Big balls.
Really, yeah, I've never.
Big balls.
So it's like a steak patty, not a hamburger patty.
Yeah.
It's like
It's and
fillet.
I mean, in a it's plus it's 80%, ground beef, 20% balls. And it's a pound, and
Right.
I would imagine a bull's ball is probably more than a pound.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit of balls.
Are you scaling or want actual weight? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody Google what the
Yeah.
weight of bull's balls are.
My girl, you are
It tastes good.
hilarious, and he is so dry. It's so funny that see. Listen, he is also so funny. My favorite thing that he does is on his TikTok, and please follow him, the one in Nashville, because many of the stuff I film of it, and it makes me laugh so hard. He'll just be you'll say some truth, you'll say like, blah 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 blah, and then you just walk away. It makes me laugh so hard because you're like, if you're either gonna listen or you're not, and I'm done talking.
Yeah.
It's just like so funny. I get that it's very funny. I'm overly hilarious for some people. Some people can't take me, but I'm just gonna be my one face and with my one wheel. I have a
Yeah.
unicycle now.
Yeah.
Either
You
you
do.
can take the one wheel and one face, or you can't
Good
take
thing you wear pads when you're on that thing and a helmet because it's a one wheel.
it. So one,
Yeah.
just got one going on.
Yeah. You should get some gloves for that too.
I have gloves.
Okay, good, because your hands will take the brunt of the fall.
It's not that bad. It's not like I'm gonna go around town. Although today at the Happy Vagina Happy Life meeting, they did come up with a, oh my God, are you gonna bring your unicycle to the event? Oh my God, can we sponsor that you ride from you to them, which is a long. They're like, we can sponsor it. We can follow you. And I was like, listen, this is my first day, and I
Yeah.
got up. So I got up on my first day, y'all. But
There's an electric one wheel, you know that, right?
shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a buddy of mine has one, and
Is he alive?
they're very fast. They're
That's
very
terrifying.
fast. Like I have a Suron, which is a electric dirt bike, and he keeps up with all the Surons, and in fact, it's faster than a Suron. It is a very fast device.
One wheel.
Yeah.
Wow, that's scary.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm gonna
I've
do
never
it.
been on one, but they're not crazy expensive, but they for dollar for performance, it's much better than an electric bike because it's very simple.
You know,
It's just one wheel.
but then how do you electrify it? Just by moving the wheels?
I
It's like,
haven't ever ridden it. I believe it's by leaning. You lean forward, it goes forward. You lean back, it slows down. Or there could be a hand remote. It might be a combination of the two.
oh wow. Speaking of like revving, I'm here at your house. That's funny. And you have Music City e-bikes. If you didn't know, Music City e-bikes,
Yeah.
musiccityebikes.com. Ride with him. And I was riding one of your bikes today, the little BMX one.
Yeah.
And that has a thing when you pedal, it'll start going for you.
They all do.
Unexpected.
They all have that.
This one has a little bit more jolt to
You
it.
probably had it
And
in a high mode.
I I had it in a high mode, y'all.
Yeah.
It was I caught some air too. I did lots of sounds that I make on a bike and on my unicycle sound very inappropriate. I could just have just the audio because the
Yeah.
hoops and the hose and the hoo hoo ha hoo.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was very very fun. Okay. It has a griot on it. What do they say about fish and unicycles?
Hmm.
You know what they say about fish and unicycles? I don't know what they say about fish and unicycles.
That's incongruent.
Oh, it's like a segue. I would love to hear that man's laugh.
Okay.
Say something funny.
Type something funny.
Say
Give
it
me
out loud.
something funny.
Jesus, she talks about you all the time. Yeah. She talks
Thank
about
you.
you all the time. Yeah, I do talk. I talk about you all the time. And fossil fuel is required to keep non-fossil.
Well-
Laughing, LA.
Technically, they're not fossil fuels, but it's more likely that it's rock sweat.
You didn't know this is a comedy hour.
Yeah, technically, it's more than likely rock sweat, not
got
not fossil
Wait.
fuels.
What? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Rock sweat.
Yeah, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that petroleum, all the oil and gas that we pull out of the earth is actually rock sweat.
Another fact.
I mean, you
Maybe
know,
another fact? Question mark? Gosh. I
I'm
do
not
not know.
gonna, I'm not gonna like, put a big wager on it, but that's, I've read that from reputable sources.
Okay,
It's
so
it's it's very unlikely that it's fossil fuels. Well, I'll hang my hat on that.
interesting. Hey, all right. Well, we talk about moms and what to do about our aging parents. Thank you. And then I also wanted to talk about how about a little wager? Oh, what's your little wager?
On
Favorite
what?
stumbled upon TikTok. I love you. Thank you.
A wager on
What's
what?
the wager? What's the wager? I'm a dare. I have a movie because of a dare.
And then how is it? And then how is it decide? What's the wager? And how is it decided? I mean, if you want to have, if you base it on sheer numbers of articles, there's whole propaganda wings that are, y- you know, trying to convince people that it's all fossil fuels.
Oh, well, you have to be careful with anything you read, really. I'm mortified by the what's out in the world. Speaking of what's out in the world, is how we are intentionally being separated out in the world. We meaning you are a man with male parts and I'm a female with female parts,
Right.
and we are very much being separated
Right.
and poisoned and told lies about each other and told each other that they're crazy and you're toxic and I'm crazy and I'm poisoned
It's
and you're poisoned and
it's the
you're
old
a patriarchy and I'm a matriarchy and blah, blah, blah.
it's all the divide and conquer technique.
I'm so nice. Hey, good night.
See ya, Jay. Yeah, it's
See you,
divide
Jay.
and conquer. It's the same reason why you want blacks against whites. You want men against women. You want, closest people. Like if you have, people will judge and discredit people because of the clothes that they have on. It's a divide and conquer. Plus, masculine and feminine energies working together for a common goal is a very potent thing, you know.
What we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Sort of. I
yeah.
mean, my goal is to help you with your regenerate and loot, like get
Mm-hmm.
more people. Like I want us all to
E-bikes.
do regenerate together.
Yeah,
And our common goal, we have a common goal.
yeah.
Did Jesus drop some bad acid in the not so distant past?
I have
Why would it
not.
have been bad?
I have not. No. And is that bad?
You precisely are. Wait, well, choose against that. You choose media separation.
Media
You
separation.
chose media separation. Did Jesus drop some bad acid? No, seriously. Wait, I'm lost. You precisely are. No, you are. No, you. That's what's happening over here. You are. No, you are. No, you are. You are what? You're pretty. I love you. So, anyway,
I can't see it from here.
it's hard to see, but you choose media separation. Well, I mean, yeah, well, their truth, like you can choose to not look at the media, but we are definitely being fed a bill of goods in the headlines, in the global brain, where things are put into the global brain intentionally in order to poison us in our body, in our brain, in our spirit. I mean, it is. I mean, it's just
And to mine people for profit.
mind people for profit, and also use their bodies to launder your money through.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes that's
I mean,
that's
I've
true.
seen it. I've literally saw friends of mine. They're. I'm like, the government just laundered their money through your body. It was crazy. You both are joining masculine and feminine forces. It's powerful. Yeah, I'm super feminine. Although I don't know how you describe me because I'm like a strong queen. I'm definitely queen. My nickname at Burning Man was Queen. I have like, men like to serve me. I have lined up if I wanted them. If I wanted like literally servants, and but that I'm not like that. I'm much more feminine. I'm much more actually in the submissive role, really. That's where I'm like I like it. I don't mind it at all. But
Yeah,
I'm very powerful though.
and there needs to be
So
a
I
a
mean,
new word for submissive because of
woman. I'm just kidding.
movies because of movies like 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh
There's
God.
such a connotation that comes with the term submissive. So I don't know what that word is because but there needs to be another way to describe that.
That's good truth. You don't have that authority to have on mind, believe what is told or else. Oh, yeah. Believe what we tell you or else. Yes, you would be my queen. Well, no, serve the queen. Go, run about. Tell people about him.
And your tuck.
It, we're both very secure and trust one another. Yeah, I think that word is Angela.
Oh, instead of submissive? Yeah, anybody have any thoughts
On a
on what
minute.
another term for
What
a
is it?
submissive woman that does not have sexual connotation?
Oh, well, then I'm not playing.
I mean, like, you know, I mean, just for example, like if a
Some
woman is unhappy in her job and then, wants to join her man's business and start working with her man's business and, wants the man to lead and wants to have a feminine role in life, is she submissive? Not a
like that word. I
partner,
don't like that
she's
word.
working for him. If
He
he's
says.
leading, that's not a, well, I mean, it is a partnership, but it's not like a partnership where people have equal decision making. But
Easy Jesus. No, I like this conversation. Collaboration? Not really. See, there is no
yeah,
word that's
there's no word,
submissive.
and then submissive has been hijacked by corn.
It's true.
So it's like,
Because
it's,
submissive,
you
it's in
know,
the Bible, and people get all weird about it.
right, and it shouldn't. I don't think it. And there's a distribution of traits on both sexes. Like there's
Hopefully.
yeah, there's hyper masculine women, that are MMA fighters, and could kick, 99.9% of men's asses
Yeah,
in a
totally.
fight.
Yeah.
You know,
And then
s-
there's the
and
wafy dude.
yeah, and then there's the wafy dude who's more feminine, who's
Teeny itty bitty little
right,
thing.
who's extremely feminine, and you know, there's a spectrum on both sexes, but to 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 put it out there that there's no difference is just really absurd.
But too many cooks spoil the soup. You can work with someone and be working for yourself at the same time. And then
Well,
you
well,
say the patriarchy.
what patriarchy?
The patriarchy poo poo. Little poo poo emoji.
Oh,
Every
yeah, I mean,
word is man made. All right. Y'all
yeah,
need to
sure,
get
yeah, that's
into a
right.
cage match. Me and him be into a cage match. Now, I would be submissive. Now, I want a harness with a handle. I just can't believe I said that out loud. I'm not. I'm just gonna have one face, y'all. I'm not gonna tell lies.
The patriarchy. What patriarchy? I mean, it's so that's so ridiculous. We just had a queen of England that is in charge of 56 countries in this world. 56
56.
countries were controlled
Please
by a
stop.
woman for the last 75 years. What patriarchy?
I don't know. Why do you say please stop?
Well, because I don't know. Please elaborate on the please stop.
Yeah, exactly. What do you mean please stop?
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's a good conversation because it is the toxic masculinity and patriarchy conversation is huge because I was just watching some ladies I like on TikTok today, and somebody was saying the patriarchy has conditioned us to. It was just like this explaining everything underneath toxic men and that's all of our problems. And I'm
yeah,
like, well, I don't know. I'm on to like union
yeah.
and taking back all those words. I think like people get tripped up with words, and then in the global brain, we are perped upon. Like there's no such thing. Well, there is such thing as the
Well,
red and the blue, but really, the red and the blue is intentionally making us
well,
fight against that.
well. What if
If we just go higher.
what if you're a young nugget, 5-year-old girl, and I start telling you that there's a patriarchy out there, there's men are always going to hold you down, and you really aren't going to be able to do anything in life because men will shred all of your dreams and smash all of your hopes. I mean,
That's horrible.
that's horrible.
My kid
Like
would have been like, "F that."
right, right. But I mean, but then other children will be, just
Oh
soak it up
no.
and marinate in it, and now be 25-year-old, supposed adults spouting out nonsense. And even if it is true, it's detrimental. It's like Thomas Sowell. You ever hear of Thomas Sowell?
Mm-mm.
He's an intellectual who happens to be black, and he says that the most detrimental thing is to continuously talk about racism.
Nah,
Because
fair.
if you're constantly putting it into the consciousness that everybody's racist, why even bother trying? Because the white man's gonna smash you down.
Exactly. Every man is
Eh,
bad. Yeah, the whole
right,
thing.
or
Yeah.
every, and it's the same thing. It's like but you know, the queen, who's a woman, was in control of 56 countries. I know there's 193 countries, but you know, that's still a lot. That's
That's a
still a
lot.
lot of
I
countries.
just got God bless the Queen.
Yeah.
Thanks. They're talking about me.
Yeah.
He's talking about me.
Bless you.
I personally see full circle, and I have seen just in my own healing and my own work and how I've healed and how I have helped other people is addressing all the traits of oneself. From so like the king, the knight, the prince, and the good boy, the queen, the princess, which is the worst one. That one's like this one. Oh my god. And or the woman as the warrior, the nun, the teacher, the good girl. Like if you apply a respect and appreciation for all aspects of a person and you actually ask them like this is what I've told couples and then what I've worked on myself, like for example, like you're not always in king mode, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you had a really bad day and you right and you just want like you're the boy that needs to be held. And it's like and so if you can have a dialogue, like open dialogue of like I had a really crappy day or something happened that I feel very angry about and I have like
Hmm.
anger energy like and that would say I would put it under like knight like or warrior and you need to have a good powwow like you said get into a cage well you can do that with your masculine feminine energies and like be balanced for each other because
Hmm.
sometimes a woman really is in a space of like feeling like a girl and just to sit in the lap of the man that you love and just be held is like just give it 10 minutes it's so healing,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
Or if it's just like
But,
something happens and you want to rage against like
hmm.
let then do something like you lay on the floor intimately with each other or not and then and do like a intense lymph node draining massage on each other, you know that.
But the problem is if you are an egotistical person, which I know you're not, but if you're an egotistical person, you have an identity that you have decided that is you.
Right, that's
And so
fake.
you're not right. So you're not going to morph between all of the ranges of human emotion. You're going to put your anchor on the one that you believe you are or have decided that you are. And you're not going to allow those other, you know, facets of the of your own humanity to come out.
Yeah, that's so crazy. That's it does multifaceted, and sometimes and you it's full circle, and you feel all things. And with me, I've told you my experiences with people thinking I should be on meds,
Hmm.
because like oh my God, you feel so much. You have like really strong energy, and then you're emotional, and then like if you get mad, you say something right away. That would be having being in the present moment.
It would
Like
be
I mean,
being authentic.
like
Right.
what?
It would
And it's
be
like
being
that's
authentic.
weird. We should get you on medication. But I would just want to throw that out, like the whole balance that I've seen with male and female and masculine, feminine, is
Hmm.
knowing oneself and all the aspects of it within you, and the archetypes of writing, or like the king, the queen, like that those archetypes. If you can just see, this is what I've worked on in myself and what my book is all about is see where you resonate and then be really honest with each other about that. That is true like codependency. Like if you and it be really honest, like I'm feeling like a little whatever, like I'm feeling like a goddess queen that it wants to be worshipped this evening. How are you feeling? You feeling like a good boy? Are you feeling like a, you know what I mean? But
Hmm.
that requires radical honesty and knowing oneself, which people sometimes have a hard time doing. Because you have to like unravel the many layers of trauma. So you're being poisoned and you have your trauma to get to like being really radically honest with yourself.
Hmm.
And then when you're radically honest with yourself and like okay, well, I have this wound and I really feel like I want to experience this with you. And you can share it finally and then get rejected. So then there's that. So it's like, oh, well, never mind on that. But what
Hmm.
I'm practicing and why I want to have this conversation a lot is when we just put that in your brain, put that in the global brain, put that like get it being radically honest with yourself to really
Hmm.
know yourself to where, you are feeling powerful and masculine
Hmm.
and but yet also like I need the nurturing like as a man like I'm feeling like I have that need to be nurtured and to say that to your woman and it doesn't mean you just became a beta man.
Hmm.
It means that the man needs to be held and loved on.
Well,
Does that make sense?
and
Am
you
I
would,
making sense?
and you would like to think that if you're in a relationship of many years, that, you know, the person would pick up when someone needs something, you know.
That would be nice,
Yeah.
but so
But
many
I know
times,
people are busy,
yeah.
and you know, so it's great to be able to come out and say it. Yeah, and I know I've seen, I mean, there are people that do that, you know, that have lengthy relationships, and that's one of the keys that they tell each other what they need, you know.
Imagine.
Yeah, imagine that.
I just, I'm like,
Instead of playing games
huh?
to maybe extract what you need,
Yeah,
to have a conversation, you know, use words instead of manipulation.
it's really weird. Or yeah,
Yeah, it's like weird. I just like, you know, I'll just like, let me think, what can I
I'm
do?
just gonna like break something.
What can I do? I'm just gonna like not answer my phone for a few days.
This gentleman's name is Sean Gilder. He's on TikTok, the one in Nashville. I talk about him all the time. He also has Music City e-bikes. He
Okay.
also makes loot, acknowledgement of our own character, defects, and modify. Yeah, true. Why stick me in the corner and let me watch world burn? I don't understand.
Well, right, and
Intimacy is antiquated,
that's funny.
called narcissistic if you are.
It's narcissistic if you are intimate.
If you're, I don't know. What do you mean by that, John Waters? Geez, I know this. It's like wondering if the rest are NPC. Is that non-playable character?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
But
learning. I'm learning this
you
video
trailed
game.
off, but what about
I
NPCs?
was like, what? Put me down. I'm watching it. Oh, great. Oh, it's like some people are just like NPCs, meaning like when they're not even present. They're not. I think that's what you mean, like
Hmm.
when they're not even aware or present.
Yeah, NPCs, I mean, come from first
Presence.
person player video games where there's some people that you can interact with in the video game,
Right.
and then there's others that like you walk up to them and they can say like two things.
Right. Oh my God, Ryan Reynolds is in an amazing movie where he plays an NPC
Hmm.
that
Okay.
comes alive. He's amazing. Yes, it did make sense. Oh, I'm glad I made some sense, but not everyone is able to be vulnerable. This is true because you're scared to be vulnerable because you're going to get rejected.
Right.
But like
So
I live
so
in rejection mode.
well,
You
so
know
it's
what I mean? It's
so
like,
rather than be vulnerable, then let them play games and destabilize and then
yeah.
not get what you want.
When you're worried about something, just choose the choice to be brave.
Hmm.
And be brave is also being vulnerable and saying what you want. And I personally have that is a whole new territory for me because I would just shut up and just never ask for what I want. And then
Hmm.
I begin to live in fantasy. I mean, I've had entire relationships that every time there's an intimate moment, I mean, I was not there. I,
Yeah,
I was with somebody else in some other
and
scenario every single time.
if your partner wasn't there, then that still will work. But if
And
your
it's
partner is there, then they'll know that you're not there. And yeah, it's awful. Yeah, because then you're inside of someone, you know what I mean? And it's very evident
there.
if they're not tuned in to what's happening live in person.
Right.
I've had it happen to me, you know, where something pops into my head and I'm not there, like some stress or something that I forgot to do or something of that nature. And, you know, I can feel my energy dip way down. And then I've noticed it, you know, in women too. And I've even like mentioned it to women,
Come back
like,
to the five and dime, Jimmy Dean.
you know, what's just happened here. You know what I mean? And yeah. But I think a lot of people are not there at all. They're living They're thinking about the
The corn.
fantasies
Yep.
that they saw on corn,
Yep.
and they're not breathing. They have stress hormones circulating through. Yeah,
So
so they're
instead of saying,
missing out on something great.
so instead of telling them what they're not doing, we can say, "Hey, learn to breathe through your big O. So don't hold your
Right.
breath when you come up against a O. Did you know that? Don't hold your breath. Most people
Yes.
hold their breath. It's like,
Right. And then they have little O's instead of big O's.
don't
And
hold your breath.
the biggest one would be to try to pull the breath down as low as you can. So you want to try to extend the inhales, but pull the breath down into the pelvic floor. That can be key. That's like but that's also the same thing. Pulling the breath into the pelvic floor. It's not just because the sexual organs are there. It's when you pull the breath into the lowest parts of your lungs. We're really accustomed to pulling breath into the upper parts of the lungs. So by focusing on bringing the breath to the lower part, you will fill up your lungs more. There you go. Fill up the lungs more.
Oh my God. Okay, men like to be the small spoon in the cuddle. I love being the other back, big spoons too.
I mean,
At times,
either
I roll out.
either is nice. I
If
mean,
only realized relationships require. Hold on. If only realized relationships require individual thought. Y'all have good vibes together. Jesus of Nashville is all good. It is true.
individual.
If I hold the door open for you, would you say thank you? Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I would
not that
say
girl.
thank you.
He would also say thank you. Which movie with Ryan? Oh my God, which movie was that? Ryan Reynolds. Oh God, it was so good. It called Most MVP? Look him up, Ryan Reynolds. It's a most. It's
Hmm.
non or NPC player. It's great. Ryan,
He's good.
vulnerable is weak, brave is broken.
Hey, yeah, if you're a man and you are with a woman who is not vulnerable, being vulnerable with her very well can make you lose her.
Oh, right. Because she'll be like, ugh.
Right. And so
I
it's
personally get more attracted the more vulnerable.
some women though will immediately be turned
Yeah.
off.
You know what happened to me though? When I am such an open book and an open space, and I have more than once this has happened to me where the man will have a total breakdown, like a total unzip your body, reveal your heart, and just like a ball,
Hmm.
and in my arms bawling, and soon after they break up.
Yeah,
Because like they just, what is that? Because
they
you just revealed your innermost being, and now you
mhm.
can't live there anymore.
Well, yeah, that's if, especially I think that goes back to if you're egotistical. So you just did something that does not tie into the facade that of the ego that you believe that you are. So then where do you go from there? But if you know that
Actually, intimacy maybe.
right, but if you know that you are just a presence, then it's like, oh, I was, thank you for allowing me to cry on you. It was, I needed to get that out, and I'm back.
I'm back now. Get out of here.
Well,
Because I don't
well,
want you now. So you've seen that side
well,
of me. I
no,
don't know if I can handle being with you anymore.
right, yeah, very tight-faced, and that's not me. I don't know what happened. I think I had some bad sushi.
We got to go to bed.
I know.
If I met you on a bridge and you were gonna jump, not gonna ask why, gonna ask how are you. I would hate that. If I was on a bridge and it was like, hey, some guy came up to me and was like, it said, hey, how are you? I'd be like, that is like my Snapchat. That's like why I deleted Snapchat because it was nonstop. Hey, how are you? I'm like, what the,
And then what
what?
the guy about to jump is like, good, good, real good, doing good, doing good, doing good, doing fine, doing great. Like people are, I'm good, always good.
I'm fine. I'm
I'm fine,
fine.
every good. What
I'm
do you think?
fine.
Do I not look good? Do I not look good? I mean, what, I don't look fine? Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Yes. Okay. Sounds good.
Don't see me, we'll never see you. Jesus, the vulnerable shot just hit the mark. The
The
vulnerable shot.
vulnerable shot.
I don't know what the vulnerable shot was.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe when I said that if a man is vulnerable in front of a woman, the woman will break up with him. But that's not a woman in her feminine. That's probably the majority.
Honestly, I think women are. I mean, I travel a lot and I meet a lot of people, and I see the men have their stuff together, but it's happening. Like people are elevating and coming together, ha ha ha, as they should. But I noticed just from my own observation, I don't belong to any party or any color or any particular group, except my own. But I just know I'm just an observer, like observer of humans, and it's like from who I know in my life, the men have their stuff together. They're still wounded and stuff, but it's like they're getting it better, and then the women are a little bit more poisoned. And you said you trained me. I really appreciate it because I used to say crazy. Women are so
Oh,
crazy, and you said stop calling them crazy. Say they're poisoned because that's what's
mm-hmm.
happening. And that is so
Right.
true. I mean, I'm gonna be the first one to catch myself and like, oh yeah,
You sound like a
oh my God, he's
misogynist.
such a
You sound like a
misogynist.
misogynist right now. I can't even like look at you when you talk misogynist.
You just killed a rabbit.
Isn't that funny? The rabbit food kills a lot of
The
rabbits.
rabbit
The
feels
food kills. You have to kill all the rabbits to keep the rabbit food alive.
So the next time you see vegan lady, if somebody a vegan like yelling at you, could just like make the sound of a dying rabbit. Do you know that they sound very terrible? They sound like they're screaming, like it's a
Yeah.
screaming child. It's
Yeah.
horrible.
And that fact breaks their brain too, and they're like, I
Oh
don't know how to
no!
do that.
What?
Do you not realize you have to kill all the rabbits to not eat the rabbit food?
It's true, Anna, because women have been hurt more, but perhaps, and they're also coming out of so much trauma. And so are the men. So are the men, though. It's like, and then
Yeah,
the men I work with,
I,
like, not time and time again, they had horrible mothers.
I,
And then you look at the mom, and that horrible mother was also diddled by her daddy. It's a whole.
I would propose that life is harder for men because there's a woman can get on a dating app and easily get a free meal, can easily get a date.
This is true. I wrote a book about it. It's called Will Date for Food.
Yeah, can
Check it out.
can you know can high probability of finding a mate and holding on to that mate especially if she wants to put on a facade. If she can figure out what this dude wants and then give this dude what he wants to extract what she wants out of this
Oh my
guy.
God. Bye.
Yeah. And yeah, women are the controllers of sexual selection, men aren't. So as a man, you have to sort your shit out. Otherwise, you crash and burn in a hurry. So I think
That's interesting
that's
because
why.
most of the men in the 20s that I know that that have come to me, they own their own houses, they own their vehicles, they've got, but they are depressed. They start drinking around 3:34, and they are addicted to video games and corn because they're sad. But they also, but like business wise, their lives, their houses are more orderly than the women I know. It's interesting to just watch. And I almost like I would love to have a dating app. I was hoping that my app turned into that, but it turns out it doesn't have that functionality, and it's irritating because I was like, I should just be a connector slash dating app because I'm like, y'all, these guys have their houses together and they are sad as hell. They just need some hugs and some affection and some
Well,
food, and then they can teach you how to clean up your stuff. And this would be a good partnership. Why don't you just meet each other?
I mean, we
I'm
we talked about it before.
like,
You know, women are looking for 6 foot plus. A lot of them 6'2" plus, 100 figures plus. And if you're looking for 6'2" above six figures, you're looking at 0.38% of the population.
that's yeah, small.
So if 80% of the
I'll
women
go
are
six
looking for
one.
okay, so then, like you're still not even above a percent. The average male is 5'9". The average woman's 5'4".
Really?
If I
Five
recall,
nine.
5'9", 5'4". Mm-hmm.
I'm 5'10". How tall are you?
6'2".
Hey, so that means you're in this percentile that everybody's going after. Yes, you
Mm-hmm.
are. That means you can have anybody you want.
That's not what it means. It means that I'm in the group that many women, set their target to.
Right. So you've got a lot of crazies hitting you up in your DMs.
No, no, because as the man, you still got to go out and make it happen too.
Right. And then you've got to select who's crazy, who's not crazy. Sorry, poison, sir.
Poison.
Sorry, sir. Stand correct. Who's poison,
Well,
who's not
but
poison.
it's legitimate though.
It's
Like, okay,
totally
so let's
legit. It is
just lay out a
totally
few
legit.
things. So, if you have unrealistic beauty standards, if you promote emaciated, malnourished women as the definition of beauty, so then you have nutrient deficient, macro deficient women. Then if you have the beauty industry that has, and in most of those products, it's laden with toxins.
And they're killing
Your
rabbits.
skin is the biggest organ, so whatever you put on your skin, your liver has to deal with. So now you've got toxic things on your skin, you've got toxicity going into your mind on the unrealistic beauty standards. Then you have, just like men do, but I would imagine that women have more predators going after them
Oh, yeah.
than guys. But we're like 30% gay now, or alphabet soup, I should say. So there's let's just say there's a lot going. There's a lot of. I mean, you hear about it. There's a lot of men that get raped too.
Oh, yeah. I just was talking to
Right.
one
Oh, I
today.
mean, graped. Damn
Oh,
it.
damn it.
Graped. Graped. I
What
was talking about
do
grapes.
Why do so many men choose poison women? That's a question that just came up.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what you're accustomed to. We were talking earlier. So if you're accustomed to chaos, if you're accustomed to, lower levels of emotion all the time, when someone is making you feel good, you're uncomfortable because you're like, what is this? Why are you being nice to me?
That's weird.
Why
I
are you
need to
being
cut
weird?
you. I'm
Why,
gonna beat you up now.
why are you just like, you just cooked me dinner and went down
You're
on me?
weird.
And why would you?
That's the way it happens on
Why would you
Wednesdays.
do that? And so, when people are unaware and trauma bonding, they're
Bonding.
addicted to the excitement. If you're trying to get, you know, excitement, you're not getting peace. You really want your mate. You want to be peaceful around your
Yeah.
mate. You want to be able to cohabitate around your mate. But
Yeah.
drinking culture. Did that answer
Yeah.
the question?
Trauma is not an excuse.
Is not an excuse for.
For what? Like, I mean, I don't think anything's an excuse, but to explain things, yeah, I mean, a lot of people are traumatized. Holy
But
God.
when people are traumatized, they're not conscious. So it's
Yeah.
you're talking to someone. Okay, so when you're under trauma and when you're under stress hormones, you do not assimilate new information and then accurately respond to whatever situation you're in. You literally just have a Rolodex of past things that you've said or past things that you've seen because we're all parrots, especially under stress. So people will just regurgitate what they saw on the Kardashians or what they saw in the last rom-com movie that they watched. So, when it's not an excuse. I mean, everyone needs it all. Everything, all of our problems boil down to the individual. If everyone would focus on sorting their stuff out, then we would be in a much better place. So I agree with what you're saying on that angle. But when people are not aware that they are stuck in a sympathetic dominant state, they're not home. You're not talking
Right.
to a conscious being.
Yeah,
You're
true,
talking
true, true.
to the poisoned, toxic programming because nobody's home. They're not conscious when in a sympathetic dominant state. Neither is an animal. This is why so many animals will try to rip your face off because they're in a state of stress. They're in a panic. So they're not going to be loving and kind. This is why there's wild animals. They're not conscious.
He said he needs to go perform with you on Guy Fawkes Day on November 5th in London. No one's going to perform with me, darling. It's just me in theatre in the round with lots of instruments and lots of outfits. It's going to be like awesome. Jesus is the best leader. I know. It's great. I love Jesus.
They're probably talking about the biblical.
I like the biblical one. It's just, I mean, the similarity is just great. I'll be performing with you that evening. You can be watching. Are you gonna be? Did you get your ticket? My sword is upstairs. It will come out tomorrow morning at 8:30. No, your time, Eastern time. That's my sword. And we're tired. I get up
Yeah.
at like 4 in the morning, y'all. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
I have coals overseas. Very exciting. I'll be there. Oh my God.
Very
What? You're gonna be in
exciting.
London? That's exciting.
Very exciting.
It is. Well, I appreciate your help with my mother, and I think that like to circle back to these bigger conversations because I like the long conversations. How this started, by the way, y'all, is we would get on the phone and be on the phone for like 3 to 5 freaking hours and say like, "Oh damn, we should have recorded that. That was a really good conversation." That was like people should be having these conversations, not like, "Oh my God, so like, what did you do today? Dude, I saw you on Tinder."
Yeah, we're just poking fun at each other, you know what I mean? Like
Or just
cutting each other
yeah,
down
you're
and
just not
cracking jokes at each
actually
other.
not talking about
You're not,
anything.
yeah, you're actually not, you're not, there's,
Well, talking to you has really led me to really taking care of my body in ways that I have never done before.
that's great.
So I'm
Yeah,
like,
that stuff pays off.
it really does, and it's like, and it goes into next level because now I'm like, oh, he was calling me out about my back, and because I totally have this,
No, it's
so it's
because
like
you're working on so much stuff, and I was like, if you get a
I
couple yoga
am.
straps, you can open up your shoulders.
Yeah, I'm all into it. I'm into going to next level on all of these things. So it's like, and it is uncomfortable too. It's
Yeah, I
a,
mean, we're
it's
all leaning forward, typing on keyboards. I wasn't throwing stones at
oh
you.
no,
Or,
I don't, I'm
but if
not
you get
taking it
two
as
yoga
stone.
straps, you can pull the shoulders back, and then when you're
Yeah,
working on a computer, you can work on a computer like that.
or be in a brace.
All right, any last thoughts? We out of here.
I'm Australian. Is he a musician?
I can carry a tune.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
He sings a lot. He's got a great voice.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's such a good tune. That
The new one,
yeah,
it's really good.
yeah,
He's got a great cadence to it.
yeah.
The song that just went to number one?
And
What's it
because
even
it's
called? I don't even.
12:20, I know. What is the name? It was
Working on
Rich Men in Richmond.
above Richmond, right?
Well, that's the line, but yeah, because Washington D.C. is.
Right. It's got some great lines in
But I
there.
think the name of the song is Rich Men in Richmond.
Oh yeah.
I think so.
And then it's like
I
if
thought.
you're 300 pounds and
Yeah,
you should not be paying for your fudge rounds. It's like it's so good. That song is so good. And
yeah.
what's it called? Insomnia. All right, y'all. I appreciate you being here. This is fun. You've gotten me over my fear of lives.
Oliver Anthony.
Oliver Anthony.
I think you're right. The men north of Richmond.
The men north of
Rich men north
Richmond,
of
north
Richmond.
of Richmond. Yeah, north of Richmond.
Just so
So
much
good.
negative press on it.
So
So
stupid. Why is it
crazy.
negative? Because see, people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, if you have a country song like that, that means that you
Be-
hate
because I googled it, and
all these
Google
people." It's
Google
like
is
super.
left wing.
Okay, buy your way in. Buy your way into what? Is it possible to exercise with insomnia? I don't know. I don't have insomnia. What
Possible.
insomnia?
Well, one of the things with insomnia is when you do wake up or when you do have to wake up, the best thing is to do a hard workout or do a sauna because that will overcome the sleep deprivation symptoms. Yeah.
I sleep. I could sleep anywhere. I could lay down right here, and fall asleep.
Yeah.
I sleep on planes are very soporific for me. There's a good word.
Planes.
When yeah, planes when the in the plane when it goes, bong, that voice that sound
Oh,
right there.
right,
When you
right,
put
right.
your seatbelt on, there's something about the bong. It's I mean I'm like "Dun." Like it's soporific. It's a good word, right? Puts me to sleep.
Yeah.
Bong. Yeah.
So any final thoughts?
Speaking of, bong. Angela goes to sleep. Any final thoughts? Oh, we're getting shared a lot. See, I don't see the hearts until I
Oh.
come over here.
Oh, that's
I'm like,
cool.
hey, shared hearts things. I love you.
I've been selling my soul.
Keep going.
Where is it on here? I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away. Drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me and people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh,
But
it
it is.
is.
Oh my God, you're awesome.
Living in a new world.
Jesus just got sexy.
And then the chorus is shouted, so I'm not gonna shout at y'all tonight. But
Just kidding. The viral song, yeah. The viral song laughing.
Yeah.
Wait, you never said that was what was the requirement?
I don't know.
What was the requirement, John? What I never said what was a requirement. This is a good angle. You'd think I was a filmmaker or something. You'd think you'd fix your freaking cameras and stuff. I don't make films anymore. I have SAG. Just kidding.
Maybe an independent YouTube or website film.
Yeah,
Just have to come up with an idea.
I have it. My daughter wrote it. My daughter wrote this movie when she was 3, and that is what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm doing. My show in London, getting all my stuff organized, and then I'm working on my kids' stuff. And you. Well, I'm not working on you. With you.
The one in Nashville.
I'm gonna do Regenerate, and I'm gonna be your biggest like testimonial person.
Yeah.
'Cause
Regenerate is
guarantee,
pretty cool.
I feel
You know,
that it's gonna do something for my trauma brain. Because I've done so much mindset, and I've done all the work, and I've done all these healing techniques. I'm really solid. I'm great on my own. I'm happy. I wake up happy. My inner dialogue is pretty damn good. But there's still things that trip me up. There's still things, and when I get tripped up, I have to like have a little sit down with myself because my negative thought patterns will be real bad. And I'm like, yeah, like failed, stupid, idiot, piece of crap, like the old stuff, old negative thought. And I think Regenerate, from watching what it's done for alcoholics, I think it's gonna have the same. I hope. I have a theory. I don't know. I'm gonna
it
do it. I'm
definitely
taking it.
quells anxiety. It definitely safely quells anxiety, which is huge.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, and I love your loot.
I love loot.